Hello friends, my name is Gauri Shankar Ekwar and I welcome you in my video. And today's topic is project exports and post-award approval and insight. The source of this video is RBI circular dated January 14, 2016, which is on exports of goods and services project exports. So let's begin. Before going into project exports, let's just have a brief comparison between project exports and normal exports. So in case of project export, the nature is of like turnkey project, construction contract, service contracts. So generally what happens when these contract or these projects are being exported from India. So these are normally in the nature of turnkey projects. Like these are the full-fledged project and which can be readily used by the buyer in the other countries. So like a small power plant or maybe water treatment plant or railway projects. So these are the project export example. Whereas in case of normal trade, this is just normal trade transaction. Size. In case of project export, generally these are high ticket size and requiring huge capital expenditure. Whereas in normal exports, the ticket size vary transaction to transaction. Mode of allotment. The project export, the contracts are awarded through international competitive bidding. It means whenever there is a project export contract or this turnkey project or civil construction contract, these are awarded through international competitive bidding, meaning that the bids are invited from the international player in the world. So when somebody is allotted the contract, it is called international competitive bidding in case of project contract. Whereas in case of normal export, it is bilateral contracts or purchase order between the buyer and the seller. Next, payment terms. In case of project export, mostly the payment terms are on deferred payment terms because of the competition. So there are huge competition because the bids are invited through worldwide from the reputed contractors. Whereas in case of normal export, these are these payment terms are defined within the regulatory prescribed limit or within the regulatory prescribed guidelines. Time frame. Generally, the project export is of long term in nature. Sometimes it requires 4 to 5 years, whereas the normal trade transaction can be long term, short term, or one-off transaction. Approval. The project export requires post-award approval. That means once the contract is awarded to the exporter, it requires approval from AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank. Subject to some terms and condition, we will study or we will look into those terms and condition in the coming slide. Whereas the normal export, it is to be conducted within the prescribed rules and guidelines of RBI. Risk classes. In case of project export, high risk involved because these contracts are awarded overseas or abroad, and there are many risks involved, like country risk, the payment risk, the reputation of the project authority risk, and the geopolitical risk involved. So there are so many risks involved in the project export. However, the normal export, it is a calculated risk because the buyer and seller, they are mostly dealing with each other for so long time. So these are the less riskier contract. Next. Now let's start with the project export. So it's first, let's understand the meaning. The export from India satisfying the following two conditions. First, exports of engineering goods on deferred payment terms and execution of turnkey project and civil construction contract abroad. So these are the two basically parameters. One is export of engineering goods on deferred payment terms and execution of turnkey projects and civil construction contract abroad. So when a contract or a project is exported out of India on these two conditions, it is under the definition or purview of the project export. Deferred payment means the payment under the contracts to be received beyond the statutorily prescribed periods. It means generally at present the required time as per RBI is 9 months. The realization of exports should be 9 months. However, when these payment terms for the export contracts are offered beyond the regulatory prescribed timeline, it is called deferred payment. Next, project exports roles of an AD bank. So generally what happens, the project export are under three stages. First is pre-award stages, second is post-award stage, and third is completion of the project. So pre-award stage, what happens when this international competitive bidding happens, the tenders are invited or the bids are invited through the various contracts and the tenders are floated by the project authority. So in this case, the exporter requires the bid bond guarantee in favor of this project authority to submit their bids. So that is a pre-award stage. The second is post-award stage. So that is the stage when the contract is awarded to the contractor. So in the second stage, the role of AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank is granting the post-award approval. So what is the post-award approval? We will understand in the coming slide. And then disbursement under the facilities, including LCs, bank guarantee, and progress monitoring. So that is a contract or the project progress monitoring, which is done in the DPX2 form. So we are understanding each nitty-gritty of this DPX2 and the post-award approval in the coming slide. So since we are just talking about the stage of the contract, so on completion of the project or contract, collecting the documents and certification and ensuring the repatriation of proceeds in India. So these are the roles of an AD bank or Indian Exim Bank who is awarding the post-award approval or who is issuing the LCs or bank guarantee for the project export. So there are three stages. One is pre-award, second is post-award, and third is on completion of the contract or the project. Next, project exports, the requirements. So as we have discussed when we were comparing this project export against the normal export, so there are some special requirements. So first is offering the deferred payment terms to the buyer. So as we have already discussed that since it is international contract and the reputed contractor, they comes to build this kind of contract. So generally, these type of contracts require to offer deferred payment terms to the buyer. Second is credit facilities. Since these contracts are in huge nature, so both fund-based and non-fund-based facilities are required for executing such kind of contract. Then opening of bank account abroad, since the contract is required to execute those contracts in outside India. So that's why they require to open the bank account, opening site office, project office, licensing office, then purchase or hire of plant and machinery outside India. So definitely when any Indian contractor, they are executing the project outside, they must be requiring some plant and machinery at the site. So they want to purchase or hire, they can take on hire as well outside India. Then transfer of funds from India, payment of agency commission. So when the contractors start executing the project, they require transfer of funds from India and payment of agency commission. Another requirement is borrowing of funds outside India. So there may be sometimes there will be some requirement that for bridge financing, the contractor may require to borrow some amount of fund from outside India for which they may require to produce the guarantee from Indian banks or Indian banking system. The next is disposal of plant and machinery and other assets. So once the contract or the export is over, so there is a requirement of disposal of plant and machinery and other assets. So subject to repatriation of the proceeds to the India. So either they can re-import these plant and machinery to India or they can dispose of. The next is risk coverage from ECC or participation from Indian Exim Bank. The other requirement is because since it requires or it involves so many risks like country risk, geopolitical risk, the payment risk, execution risk. So sometimes the ECGC, they provide the very risk coverage for this such kind of contract, and Exim Bank also participate in such kind of contract by facilitating different type of facilities like fund based, non-fund based, or bias credit, etc. The next is third country imports and waiver of evidence of imports, that is bill of entry. So project export, they also require import from third country. But what happens, sometimes this import directly goes to project side. The material doesn't come into Indian territory, and directly the importer, that is our project exporter, they import this plant and machinery or the goods directly at the project site. So what happens, they make the payment for the import, but there is no evidence of bill of entry in India. So this kind of waiver for submission of bill of entry is also required in this kind of contracts. So these are the some requirement of project contracts which is required from the exporter side. Next is another aspect is post-award approval. Let's understand what is the meaning of post-award approval. So post-award approval means an approval given by Indian Exim Bank or AD Bank after award of the export contract inter alia covering the following. So when the contract is awarded to a contractor or the exporter, the approval is required, which is given by either AD Bank or Indian Bank, which inter alia covers the following. So first is terms and condition of the contract. So generally when the AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank, they give the post-award approval, they read and understand each and every terms of the contracts, which is given to the contractors. And the next is requirement of fund-based and non-fund-based facility, because when the contract is awarded to the exporter, to execute such kind of contract, the contractor may require some fund-based or non-fund-based facilities. So the assessment is also done how much the fund-based, that bridge finance or the cash deficit finance is required to be given to the exporter, and also the non-fund based facility like guarantee, because there are so many guarantee like performance guarantee, bid bond guarantee, the retention money guarantee. These kind of guarantees are required to be given to the this buyer or from the exporter side. Further, the LC's requirement is also there, because there are imports involved in this kind of that project execution. Then the various approval required. For example, opening of bank account abroad, site office, project office, or transfer of funds. So these kind of approvals are also covered in the post-award approval. Waiver of evidence of import in case of third country import. As we have discussed in the last slide that this project exporter, sometimes they require that import of certain plant and machinery, but that the product or goods are not coming into the India, whereas that it is directly importing to the project site or to the overseas location. So in that case, what happens? This exporter, they make the payment for the import. However, the goods are not entering into territory of India. So there is no evidence of this bill of entry kind of. So that waiver is required, which is permitted in case of project exports. Then approval for deferred payment terms. So the contracts, that payment terms are to be understood properly, and normally there is some back-to-back LC arrangement, which generally happens so that the contractor can also arrange for the LC for importing the goods for this project. So deferred payments terms to be understood properly given the scope of the contract. Then permitted debits and credit into bank accounts of the project or the contract. So that is also mentioned, and the project this monitoring mechanism. So there are four formats like TPX2, this is given for 6 monthly this progress monitoring. So these are the terms and condition, or these are the parameters which are covered in the post-award approval. So this is a meaning of the post-award approval. Now move on. Post-award approval, the need. Why the post-award approval is required? So as per the RBI requirement, the exporter needs post-award approval for the following reason. First is to offer the deferred payment terms. So as we have already discussed that since these contracts are internationally awarded to the contractors and there are so much competition in the overseas market. So these exporters are required to offer better terms or deferred payment terms to the buyer. So just to offer the deferred payment terms, they need approval because that terms needs to be properly understood in the line with the contract requirement and vis-a-vis the international competition. Then to establish open various offices, bank account outside India, because nobody can just simply go and open the bank account or this outside office. So they need certain approval either from RBI or from AD Bank. Then third country import, that is without evidence of import. So that is also required, especially in the this project export. So for this post-award approval is required. Then to assess various risks involved, to monitoring progress of the report, to ensure repatriation of foreign exchange into India. So these are the reason because of which the post-award approval is required from AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank. Post-award approval mandatory needed. So in this slide, we will discuss that post-award approval is mandatory required in the following cases. So that is the first, the project exports of turnkey civil construction contract offering deferred payment terms and or execution of contract abroad involves grant of fund-based and or non-fund-based facility from Indian banking system and or the contract require third country imports directly to project site and the payment is made by the exporter. So in these cases, so first is the project export of turnkey or civil construction contract offering deferred payment terms and execution of contract abroad involve grant of fund-based or non-fund-based facility from Indian banking system. So it means if somebody is exporting any project outside India and they require fund-based and non-fund-based facilities, so they may require this cash flow deficit financing or bridge financing or LC or BG. So if the project or exporter, they are requiring such kind of facility, they are supposed to take post-award approval from AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank. Then the third country imports, when the third country imports is involved and the payment is being made by the exporter, and when there is no evidence of import, since as the goods are not coming into India, so in that case also, that since there is an exception, so that is also considered while granting the post-award approvals. Next, post-award approval not needed. So the post-award approval is not required if, so now we are talking about the contract or this project export where the post-award approval is not required. So what are those cases? The first is export of goods is under purely supply contract. Means the obligation of exporter is only for the supply. They are not supposed to execute, they are not supposed to assemble these engineering goods or anything. They are just supposed to supply these goods. Second, at least 90% of the export value to be realized within 6 months from the date of exports and balance within maximum period of 2 years from the date of shipment. So that is a second condition. So at least 90% of the export value to be realized within 6 months and balance within 2 years. And the third is the exporter does not require any funded or non-funded facility for such export from AD Bank. So these are the three conditions, or these are the criteria where the post award approval is not required. So first, it should be pure supply contract. Second, 90% of export value to be realized within 6 months and the balance within 2 years from the date of shipment. The third is the exporter does not require any fund-based or non-fund-based facility from Indian banking. And the second kind of contract or the project export, which is not required, the post-award approval is contract for export of services on cash basis, meaning where the service contracts are executed purely on cash basis, the post-award approval is not required. Post-award approval analysis of contracts. So while granting the post-award approval, the AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank, they are supposed to analyze the contract in detail so that they can understand the requirement, the risk involved in the contracts. So these are the few parameters. So first, the details of the parties like name of the Indian exporter, the constitution, name of the foreign buyer, the project authority, constitution, prime contractor, constitution, sponsoring, funding by. So these are the parties where the this to be mentioned in the post-award approval. So we need to understand the strength of all the party involved, whereas the weakness also, so that we can easily assess whether the execution risk involved or the geopolitical risk involved or the country risk is involved. Then second is contract detail. So value of contract, currency wise, breakup of contract, local, how much is being exported through India, third country import, then supplies or services, what is the component of supplies and services, then profitability, payment terms, agency commission, foreign exchange outgo, effective date of contract, completion period, maintenance period. So these are the things or details which should be looked into while granting the post-award approval. Then payment terms. So payment terms, the currency, advance payment, down or progress payment, retention money, letter of credit, security for payment. So payment terms also to be understood and to be looked into in detail so that we can understand the requirement of the exporter. Then details of credit facility. So while assessing the requirement of the this credit facility, the AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank should look into the requirement of how much amount of the guarantees or letter of credit or funded facility are required for execution of this kind of contract. Then other details, project office, site office, these are the various requirements which will be required from the exporter side, overseas bank account, capital goods on report basis, ECCC cover, ECC's country rating, governing laws, force majeure clauses, penal clauses. So it is a 360-degree view of the contract. So because it's a very complicated sometimes and there are various risks involved. So while granting the post-award approval, the contract should be read line by line and each and every terms to be understood properly so that the contractor or the compliance cannot be or is not compromised. Then post-award approval risk analysis. So as we have discussed this, the such kind of contract, the project exports, they involve certain amount of risk. So what kind of risk they involve is contract execution risk. So first of all, since sometimes this contractor they bid and they get the contract, but it is the duty of the AD Bank or Indian Exim Bank to assess the capability of these contractors so that they can execute the contract. Payment risk. So this we need to understand from this buyer side also the project authority what kind of risk involved in the payment or whether there is sufficient security like they have provided the letter of credit or advance payment. So these terms and conditions should be analyzed properly. Then country risk. So as per the ECC assign the country risk for the countries involved. So we need to also understand if what is the country involved. where the project or the contract is being executed. Then sponsor risk. So those who have sponsored the project or the contract, so we need to understand the sponsor risk also. Then the guarantee invocation risk. So when the contract is not completed or for sake of anything remain open, that guarantee can be invoked. So there is a risk involved in issuing the guarantees, and this contingent liability can be fall upon. So these kind of risks should be analyzed properly while granting the post-award approval. Then post-award approval clearance process. So what does it mean? It means what is the steps involved in getting or granting the post-award approval. So the exporter is required to submit 6 copies of application in form of DPX1 or PAX1. So the DPX1 is for the turnkey project or contract or deferred payment contract, and this PAX1 is for construction contract. So that they to be given to Indian Exim Bank or authorized dealer. Second, authorized dealer may consider granting of post-award approval with the delegated power. So there was a concept earlier, that concept was of working group, where there were members from Indian Exim Bank and ECC and RBI. But subsequently, this the requirement has been dispensed with, and so now the AD's Bank or Indian Exim Bank, they are authorized to grant the post-award approval. So the copies of approval along with the application to be forwarded to Exim Bank, ECC, in case their participatory interest is involved. So if the approval, that post-award approval is being considered by AD Bank, so the copy of the same is to be forwarded to the Indian Exim Bank or the ECC, especially when there is some risk cover or the participation is being sought. Then no mandatory limit is applicable. So the AD Bank can grant approval for any limit for the contract. So there is no limit involved. Earlier, when this working group concept was there, so the contract involving more than 100 million, there was a requirement from approval from the working group. Then Indian Exim Bank can also receive application directly from the exporter for granting the post-award approval subject to certain conditions. So it means the Indian Exim Bank, because they are the nodal agency for many product like bias credit, so they can also get the application directly from the exporter for granting the post-award approval, depending on the condition which they stipulate. The next is authorized dealer Exim Bank to consult with ECC for suitable cover. So while granting the post-award approval, the authorized dealer and Exim Bank to consult with the ECC, because the ECC provide the cover for this kind of contract. Next is post-award approval coverage. So what the post-award approval basically covers. So authorized dealers or Indian Exim Bank may process the post-award approval. While doing so, following should be clearly mentioned in the approval. First is contract value, the value of supplies and services, conditions relating to payment terms, agency commission, if any, details of credit facility, value of plant and machinery, equipment, etc., extent of ECC cover, opening of outside account and terms and condition, opening of accounts in India in foreign currency and its terms and condition, approval for project site office or license office, raising of foreign currency borrowing and guarantees for the same and their terms and condition. Then certain annexure, quarterly statement of value of shipment, how much shipment is to be done from India, statement of bank account outside India. So next is requirement on completion. As we have already discussed that there are 3 stages in project export. One is pre-award of contract, second is post-award, and third is completion. So in the first stage, the bid guarantee is required, for which the post-award approval is not required. And the second, in case of once the contract is awarded to the contractor, they need the post-award approval in certain cases, and there are also cases when the post-award approval is not required. So now on the completion of the contractor, so there are certain requirements which are to be done from this exporter. So first is close of all bank accounts, winding up of licensing office, cancellation and return of all guarantee issued, liquidate overseas borrowing, provision for payment of taxes, custom, etc. in the country of project, disposal of equipment at project. So the equipment can be disposed or they can be re-imported to India. Then recover of funds from other project if the fund transferred earlier. So as discussed while granting the post award approval, this AD bank they also give the approval for intern transfer of the funds in the same country. So once the project is over, so the funds has to be recovered from other projects. Then receiving the various certification with regard to the matter referred above. So there are certification involved like CA certificate or the certificate of the project authority. So these are requirement on the completion of the contract. And the next is documents on completion. So a completion or final handing over certificate. So once the contract is completed and so the completion certificate is required, then certificate from overseas bank lender regarding closure or repayment of the account. So as we have discussed that such kind of contract may require overseas borrowing. So a certificate from the borrowing that the borrowings are settled completely. Then statement of remittances made to India. So the a statement is also required to be submitted to the AD bank. Then tax clearance certificate for the overseas products. So from the local body, the tax body, the exporter is required to submit that no tax is outstanding with regard to the project. Then bill of entry for re-import of machinery, etc. So once the balance plant and machinery or vehicle, if they are being re-imported to the India, then the bill of entry is required to be submitted to the AD bank. The receipt and payment account, profit and loss account statement duly certified by a chartered accountant within 3 months from the completion of the contracts. So these are the statements which are required to be submitted by the exporter to the AD bank. Then post-award approval, some important consideration. So first is the progress report to be submitted on half-yearly basis, that is for the period ending June and December, and the format is in DPX2. Project exports to Nepal and Bhutan. So like other project export to other countries, the project export to Nepal and Bhutan, they also require the post-award approval. Then service contracts for exports of consultancy, technical and other services on cash basis do not require any post-award approval. Further, Indian Bank, Indian Exim Bank or AD Bank may consider following approval: waive of bill of entry in case of third country imports, inter-project transfer of fund, re-import of construction equipment or sale of equipment provided consideration repatriated to India, purchase of construction equipment abroad, import, dispose of equipment, machinery, vehicle, etc. purchase abroad. So these are other considerations when along with the approval or while granting the approval, these are also certain points which are to be considered both the exporter as well as the AD bank while considering the post-award approval. Then the project exports forms to be used. So there are certain forms which are used especially in project exports. So first form is DPX1. So this is the application for post-award approval for exports on deferred payment or turnkey basis. So if the project or the contract is on deferred payment or turnkey basis, so the details are required to be submitted in 6 copies to the AD bank in DPX1. The DPX2 is a progress reports from exporter on half-yearly basis, that is for the period ending June and period ending December every year. Then DPX3, the application for buyer's credit from Indian Exim Bank. So as we have already discussed that since Exim Bank or Indian Exim Bank, they are the nodal agency for various kind of export project. So there are some special program like buyer's credit program, which is specially designed by Indian Bank, Indian Exim Bank. So for application of the same is to be given in DPX3. Then the PAX 1. So this is the application form for post-award approval for construction contracts. So the PAX one is for construction contracts and DPX one is for the turnkey or deferred payment contracts. The PAX 2 undertaking to re-import equipment taken abroad. So that is the undertaking format which is given in the PX PAX 2 format. And the last is TCS1, the application for post-award approval for service contracts. So these are the forms which are used in the project export. So that's all with regard to project export and post-award approval. Hope this topic will help you understand the project export and the post-award approval process. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thanks.